Brett, the dog trainer. I've been doing this for more than 30 years now, probably 31 or so, give or take a few months. I'm gonna go full Tim Dillon with the glasses on while I'm driving, and I just seem to be more relaxed when I wear my glasses. I'm full up front. I have sensory issues. I was diagnosed with autism 15 years ago officially. I was in special programs as a young boy, the GATE program, if anyone wants to research what that is. I talk about that too. This video is going to be, and I've talked about this subject in the past, about veterinarians, and let's qualify. I have been accepted to veterinary school, and I am tentatively going to start next January. So I don't want to say I'm a veterinarian, but I do understand that realm of things, and I did work at vet clinics, and I do understand the benefit that they bring to the animal community, but I also understand their limitations as far as realizing the applied situations that happen in the homes or the world between dogs and owners, and the modalities of what causes them to not listen, have severe behavior problems like aggression, anxiety, reactivity. I specialize in that stuff. I'm not like a trick trainer. I don't like teach dogs to jump through hoops. I actually get in there and deal with cases that either other trainers don't know how to deal with, won't touch, or failed, when they did attempt to work on them. I'm sometimes the third, fourth, fifth trainer for some people and finally getting some work done. And I know why, because I address it. I'm direct, I'm honest, I don't lie to myself, I don't lie to other people, and I certainly don't lie to the dogs. And I also don't achieve this by punishing them, by giving harsh corrections, but I do hold dogs accountable for their actions. I do hold owners accountable for what's causing their dogs' negative actions or problem behaviors. I'm not saying everything's negative, but it is definitely the human-dog relationship is a big part of why dogs do or don't listen, and why dogs can live a great, contented, full life, or they're living in discontent and anxiety and misery and never getting out in the world because of the limitations that occur when you end up with a dog that has severe behavior problems. So I'm going to talk about how veterinarians, I've done videos probably a few years, I think I did a podcast about this, like called Stay in Your Lane or something to that effect, about veterinarians who feel that they can supersede the advice that the trainer gives a client when they're in there. So it could be anything from like, don't use that collar, this is the type of training you do, this is, you're supposed to do, and it's always, most of the time. I know a few vets, including my own, Dr. Slayton in Westlake Village, California, who doesn't subscribe to the fully positive reinforcement ideologies, which is, again, it's an ideology. Ideology is something that isn't real, that you strongly feel, and other people's around you will strongly feel as well, to believe that it's real, and it's not. I have an ideology about everything. I wish I had a 10-inch dick. I wish that I weighed 20 pounds less and I was 20 years younger. I mean, there's a million things that we, wish we had or hadn't, but it's just not, it's life, right? Be more zen about it. Anyway, let's stay on topic. So, I've had, from that to even like, a big one is like a dog will get a medical procedure, like a spaying or a neutering or something else, and the vet says no training for this period of time. And the reality is these are, in most cases, dogs that have this hypervigilance issue where they can't sit still. They don't know how to relax. They don't know how to check in with their owners, and they're always just rushing it. They're always getting that FOMO, always being where the action is, with a strong sensory, reaction to things. And what I do and what I call training, because again, I'm not teaching dogs to jump through hoops or agility or things like that, or run through the forest. I'm actually teaching dogs in many cases just how to be calm and relaxed in their own home, which is very conducive to the healing process after you go through a medical procedure. So the funny thing is that veterinarians will tell the owners like, well, hold off on training for this time period. So now as a result, the dog is going more wild and running around, and it, not going to heal as efficiently, and going to have a risk of pulling out stitches or whatever it is. And the nature of training is to get them to be calm and relaxed and zen, so that they can exist until the next activity happens that you initiate, and then they can get into that mode, that stimulated mode, that excited mode when it's playtime, exercise, whatever it might be. But again, when you have a dog that's recovering from a medical procedure, you pretty much don't want to have that mode open up. You want to have them in calm mode, and even having them on the leash, walking steadily. And if the dog is pulling the owner, you're putting physical stress on the body, and training is teaching a dog not to pull the owner, to stay calm, and blah, 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 blah. And again, vets just don't seem to understand this, because they don't spend day after day, week after week, year after year, dealing with these in-home or out in the world shared experiences that dogs and owners face together. And it really becomes an issue because me, as someone who doesn't have a DVM degree yet, people say, well, the trainers are always talking about it. I'm like, au contraire. And anyone also online, other trainers even, if you think come see what I do. Come to any house. I'll even wait for you to come to meet me with a new client with an aggressive case and see how I handle that. Because what occurs in the real world in front of my clients, that's why I have a great track record, because it's evidence-based. I provide tangible results at no detriment to the dogs. Owners sometimes don't like it. Owners sometimes get offended that I tell them that you got to cut the shit. You got to stop doing this with your dog. It's not working. I don't care what your emotions drive you to do or what you did with your last dog. It's not working. Well, that's your opinion. No, it's not opinion. It's me going through this tens of thousands of times with many unrelated people and knowing that if we did this versus that, or didn't do this versus didn't do that, people tell me consistently what the outcome is. And I like to just cut to the chase, because why stress a dog out while you're trying to intervene in their life and show them how to trust you can lead them and set a schedule and have them be calmer instead of, again, that FOMO. They need to always be ahead of things, always be where the owner is, always be first to the door, first to the new dog on the walk. That's a mindset that is not good when sharing everyday situations with an owner. It's good if you're chasing a ball and hunting and doing these more hypervigilant kind of activities. Again, that gets scheduled into the day and you turn them on and off so the dog gets their fulfillment. But even in years ago when dogs were meant to just hunt with people, they weren't hunting all day long. You do your hunt, you get intense, you do the accomplishment of it, and then you go rest in camp until the next one. Dogs don't be pacing all over camp. The cavemen would be like, get the hell out of here. You're throwing off the whole plan here, right? So there's a time and a place. And the issue that happens is a lot of people think that's, oh, my dog's just excited. My dog just loves being with me. It starts with a little bit of that and then it becomes pathological, just like human psychology, right? I like to make sure I come off nice to people and I have a good appearance in public and all that. But if it's like all I obsess about and attaining wealth and status and all that, you become narcissistic, sociopathic. We see a lot of that in society, right? And again, it's not going to be cured with love. It's not going to be cured with punishment and all that stuff either. That's a misnomer. It's actually going to be cured with an awareness, structure, a plan, communication, teaching a dog how to become sensory organized when they're becoming disorganized. That's a big part of this. And having the dog see that as if it's in a puppy, you do it from the start. If it's an adult dog, you rehab it till it's the new norm and phase back into some kind of balanced relationship where you don't have to intervene and micromanage your dog so much, but you still appear to them in a certain role and they associate a certain set of behavior patterns or habits, or let's say it, respect for your leadership is going to occur in your presence and your shared situations. Right? And then even then, you're going to get a dog that's going to listen better, not take off at every distraction, learn when you want to teach them the recall or any other things that you want to build into their training repertoire. It's all connected. But yeah, the veterinarians, unless they have a background in training, and that's what I hope to be, if I live long enough, yeah, that's really, I'm not going to sit there and tell a vet how to spay or diagnose, or fix a cherry eye or something, but I do know they're really quick to talk about something. And I know in vet school, I've looked at the curriculum. It's like 2 weeks, and it's all like just basic like Skinner type shit when it comes to like, how dogs learn and stuff. It's all conditioning. They treat dogs like the society treats humans. Like we're all just a bunch of addicts who are slaves to our vices, and our dopamine receptors have to continually get hit, and we're just led like a carrot on a stick. It's sad. It really is, because that's all these cookie pusher mindset people are, is they just think that it's all conditioning and it's just getting the dog to like you. Just like a parent who buys their kids a lot of toys, but they don't put the time in to raising them and communicating with them and teaching them. They don't respect them. They just they listen when maybe it's convenient for them, or the treats are present, or you're forcing them, and then that's the other side. You're being too direct, too like, you better listen or else. That's terrible too. Take the time. People say, why do your dogs listen? I see them on the video. Someone's asked me, how does your dog able to jump up? I'm like, because I taught them. It's really simple. You just show them how to do it. And before I did that, I taught him a lot of other things in our everyday relationship and how he's got his needs met. So he was receptive to my intervention with more future tasks and life skills I wanted to teach him. It's that simple. But what I observe, especially in 2026, it's not that simple for people, because people are falling into this weird common consensus type of thought that would like, oh yeah, the vet said that, I guess that's okay. It's like, but you see your dog is acting crazy in your house. Do you think that like the training that we've done, which I'm talking like this to my clients, this is how I speak to them. It's about promoting calm. It's about promoting structure. It's about being honest about what's going on. And it's about telling the vet, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. I'm good. I got a trainer who knows the dynamics of this. Just like if I went to my primary care physician, I don't work with therapists because they're insane. But if I was working with someone to help me with something separate from what the primary care physician, the cardiologist would recommend, I'm going to just say, hey, listen, I think they've got a handle on it. I hear what you're saying, but quite frankly, and a lot of them are all fucking narcissists too, so they don't want to hear the truth. Like, maybe you should not give advice of something that you literally don't have the experience, dealing. I don't know what word I was going to use, but yeah, you don't have the experience in that area. That's all it comes to. So anyway, if you're someone struggling with behavior problems with your dog, you have a new puppy, you might want to take a step back from the advice the veterinarian gives, unless they have a background in training and they can prove it, and go find a good local balanced trainer who has experience, right? Experience is very important in this profession, and sets you straight with what your dog needs, whether it be to set them up for success for their life as a puppy, or again, with a dog with some behavior problems that you've got to help them with so they can have a better life and you can enjoy them more. Okay, and if you're interested, I'm not trying to sell you, but I do offer Zoom training sessions. They work great. I can help you very well and coach you. If you need assistance in that way, you can go on my website, dogtrainingla.com. And if you're someone who watches this, just make a comment, like, share, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Okay, thanks. Enjoy your dog. Have a good day.